So the earlier you can start, the better off you're going to be. Because here's the deal. It's not if something is going to happen, it's when. Hey, you guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. And it is April, and it is National Financial Literacy Month. So financial literacy just means knowing the personal finance basics to help you win with money. So in order to honor Financial Literacy Month, we're going to talk about 12 money mistakes for you to avoid. And these are really important because they can make or break your finances. And number 7 and 8 on this list are 2 huge reasons why people don't build wealth. So make sure to stick around for that. And at the very end, I'm going to talk about my number 1 pet peeve I have about spouses and how they handle money. All right, so let's start off the list. Number 1, not educating yourself about money. Listen, for a lot of people, they grew up in a house where money was not talked about. They went to a school where money was not talked about. They went to church where money was not talked about. They went to sports where money was not talked about. That is a very real thing. So if you don't know how to handle money, you have to learn. But the encouraging part is that personal finance, it's 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. So learning the stuff, it's not gonna be completely over your head where you feel like you have to have a master's degree in finance or something like that. You can know the basics, but you have to know the basics in order to do them. So courses like Financial Peace University really do help show you and guide you when it comes to your money. Number 2, not budgeting. This is one of my pet peeves where I'm like, no, you have to budget, you guys. You have to. I don't care how much money you make. I don't care how much debt you have. I don't care any of that. You have to live on a budget. You want to live on a plan. And again, a budget is not a bad thing. It's not one of these things that you think, oh, I can't have any fun. I can never go on vacation. I can never go shopping. I can never go out to eat because I'm on a budget. That's not what a budget is. A budget is just a plan for your money. Now, your money may tell you, hey, we're gonna have to sacrifice a little bit this month in order to meet other financial goals and all of that. Yes, that may happen. There are guardrails, there are boundaries, but it is your plan and it gives you freedom to spend. It gives you permission to spend. We are not second guessing, thinking, is this okay, is this not? It's all in the budget. It's all in the plan. Number 3, not adjusting tax withholdings if needed. So if you have gotten a huge tax refund in the past, that means your money that you've been working for that could have been in your paycheck was sitting in Washington, D.C., not earning interest, doing nothing, and then was sent back to you. So go and adjust your tax withholdings. Now, ideally, you don't end up owing the IRS money, and ideally, they're not sending you a bunch of money. You want to find that perfect medium. So your HR department at your job should be able to help you make the adjustment. Number 4, thinking that you don't need an emergency fund. So when we talk about the baby steps, the very first thing you want is a $1,000 emergency fund. Then you get completely debt-free except for your mortgage. And then baby step 3 is saving up 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Because here's the deal. It's not if something is gonna happen, it's when. Things are going to happen. And it feels like things happen all at once. We're kind of in that now. I swear, our cars, the air conditioning in the van started being like, making this crazy noise. The blinker will not get fixed. In Winston's truck, his stuff, I mean, it just feels like everything falls apart. Everything falls apart at the same time. And when you don't have cash, when you don't have money there to catch the things that are an emergency, then it takes something that could just be an inconvenience and frustrating and annoying to a complete crisis. Okay, so an emergency fund, 1,000% is needed. And your fully funded emergency fund, again, is 3 to 6 months of expenses after you've become debt-free. Number 5, paying off your debt highest interest rate to lowest interest rate. Now, mathematically, that's not a mistake. I get it. That makes mathematical sense. But here's the deal. Personal finance, it is more about your behavior. And there is something to be said about this process where you as a person, when you have a goal and you hit it, and you're like, oh, it's possible. Like, I wanted to do that and I did it. That is huge. That changes your motivation. That changes the course of what you're doing. And this is anything in life. But with your money and when you're paying off debt is such a huge goal for people that being able to get your quick wins by paying the smallest amount of debt off first, regardless of the interest rate, gives you that motivation to think, okay, I can do this. So don't discount the human spirit over just the math. So when you're getting out of debt, pay off the smallest amount to the largest amount. Number 6, only paying the minimum payments on your debt. So what ends up happening with this is that you're just taking years and 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 years to pay off debt versus saying, I'm going to get so intense and I'm going to pay this off on average in 18 to 24 months. That's what people do in the debt snowball, where they're like, I'm not going to just work my way through. I'm actually going to throw extra money. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to sell stuff. We're not going to go out to eat. We're not going on vacation. I'm going to take on a second job, and we're going to do everything we can to increase our income, throw extra money at the debt, take things out of our house, sell stuff, do what we can to earn extra cash there to throw out the debt. And then again, cutting expenses and living on way less than you need. Again, you're kind of microwaving that process versus just going through life, paying minimum payments, and that's just what you do. Versus saying, okay, we're gonna take all of our efforts and we're gonna put it on our smallest debt, and then we're gonna move over to our second smallest, and you keep going down the line. Number 7, buying more house than you can afford. So we talked about this in another video on home buying, but I want you to put at least 10 to 20% down, and I want your payment to be no more than 25% of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed rate. But a lot of people, they go and they buy a house, and the mortgage payment is 50% of their income. And it's just hard. It's just hard to get ahead financially when half your paycheck is going directly just to your home. So looking at a house and saying, okay, this house is something that we want in life. We'd love to own a home, which I think is a great thing. But you actually want to do it way more conservatively than most people do. And don't forget about closing costs, moving costs, all of that when you're buying a house. Number 8, allowing lifestyle inflation to happen. So I did a video about this as well, about lifestyle creep. You kind of just keep going, and if you're making more money, you kind of just bump up that lifestyle. You almost don't even realize it because the numbers work and you just kind of go, go, go. Versus saying, okay, let's actually take an inventory of where we're at. And if you still have debt and you don't have an emergency fund and you are making more money, take that extra income and let it work for you, versus just kind of blowing it on your lifestyle. Now, eventually, yes, that's fine to increase your lifestyle as your income increases. When you don't have debt, you have an emergency fund, you're funding retirement, all of that. But don't let lifestyle creep happen. Number 9, waiting to save for retirement. So this is a hard one because people get to, I don't know, their 50s and they think, oh gosh, I haven't really put a lot away. That's why getting on this plan right where you are, no matter your age, is so important, because I want you to put 15% of your income into retirement. And I want you to do that after you're debt-free and you have your emergency funds. But as soon as you can start, you guys, the better off you are. You look at compound interest, you look at when you start earlier, how much more money is going to be in there to be working for you and making interest, not just on the interest, but on the actual principal over time. And as it gains more money, it's just as like this mathematical explosion when you look at it. So the earlier you can start, the better off you're going to be. But remember, it's not too late. If you are in your 50s and you're thinking, yeah, I haven't saved, then start now. Start actually saying, I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to have an emergency fund, have that solid financial foundation, and then look towards retirement. Number 10, buying a brand new car. Now, the car market, I know, it's insane right now. It's crazy. And for some people, they're like, I can actually buy a brand new car cheaper than a used car right now. All of it, okay? So there's all this discussion. So this piece of advice is for sure when everything kind of settles out. Because when you drive off the lot and you lose value instantly from a new car, until you have $1 million net worth, can you take that hit? But I do want you to price it out. And again, people are thinking, well, I can buy a new car cheaper than a used car. And that might be true. So in this case, that might, yeah, if that's true, then it's true. But a lot of dealers are marking up the MSRPs. It's not becoming as smooth and as clear as you think it is. So ask a lot of questions. Number 11, putting all of your eggs in one basket when it comes to your investments. This is why I do not like single stocks. I never want to put things in just to one category. So a mutual fund is 90 to 200 different stocks in a fund, okay? So this is diversification, if you will, which means you just spread your money around. You're not banking on just one company. Because while it might sound good in the moment, you might think, oh yeah, well, so-and-so, they're doing great and this, and this. You never know what's gonna happen. It's not smart to, put all your money on one horse. Is that the phrase that people say? It's good to spread your money around. That's why I love mutual funds. Number 12, last but not least, a huge mistake that people make is not being on the same page with their spouse when it comes to money. You guys, this is so important. If you are married, you guys have to be one in the subject. That means you have one checking account. That means you have one budget. When the money comes in, I don't care who earns what, it is in the account and it is yours together. Working together is so key. And if money is the thing that you think, well, I don't want to engage that conversation because we always end up fighting, so we're going to just keep things separate. It's just easier. That's the exact conflict you need to have. That's exactly, just stop avoiding it. Because if you start to avoid that in marriage, other things start to happen in your marriage. It's not just about money. So being one as a team, seeing yourself as one is so, so key in your marriage and in your money. So before we wrap up, I wanted to remind you guys about the survey that my team and I are doing so we can keep providing content that's helpful and relevant to you here on The Rachel Cruze Show. So today is the last day to fill it out. If you fill it out today, it helps us, again, know what you want, and you're gonna be entered to win a $100 gift card. And remember, we all make mistakes with money, okay? It is common, but I want you to learn from those mistakes and actually say, hey, I can change the way I view and I handle my money, and that's gonna change the outcome, and hopefully for the better. So remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.